Hello. Thank you for stopping by. Hit that like and subscribe. Appreciate you. Oh, I remember you. We had that panel together. And you were among the least dismissive and actually coffee. Coffee, I'm not gonna try. I know how to say that Spanish, but I don't know how to say it if that's how you mean to say it. Thank you for being here. You got good energy, bro. Right, because in my mind it could be Nino, right? That's how, or Nino, or it could be anything. And I don't want to take a man out his name. That's mad disrespectful. And I'd rather ask than even attempt to say it wrong. You know what I mean? But you got a really good energy. You got a great mind, and I think we could debate absolutely anything. And I feel like I could learn a lot from you. But at the same time, uh, at the same time, I I also feel like you 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 could never even aspire to my levels of humility, sir. But I mean, a little bit of arrogance is earned, and I know you got the uh I don't like to use the word swagger, but you got style and personality that you'll succeed at anything you do, sir. Right. And um respect is a convoluted term that people uh I'm used to the colonized version of what's respect is that you you should automatically respect the person, the, the because they got the business, they got the this and that, and you should aspire to be like them. And and then you ask them and they'll tell you, oh, respect is earned, and it's like, well, how come you don't do? I don't know. So it gets convoluted. To me, I feel like basic human respect is so simple. Like, babies have it, and you have to kind of literally brainwash people to outside of to be disrespectful. And it's kind of weird how that works, in my opinion. Is because we start out basic humans as respectful and loving, and we got all the goodness, and then for some reason, as we get older and more socialized and try to emulate the people around us, uh, we develop these traits that are antisocial, that are not good for society. And because we're human, not because it is old, I respect Trump because of his human person, not for. See, that's another thing. Is I kind of feel like we're going a little too far with respecting other people's beliefs and shit. And that's an argument I have in my brain constantly. Is that I do feel like everybody's justified in their existence, right? But at the same time, I listen to people talk for like 5 or 10 minutes, and it's like, okay, we don't need you. And then this motherfucker ends up president, and it's kind of the flim flammery of people to say, and I get, you want to attack what's called, what you want to attack, the beast right between the eyes, and it's hard to attack this motherfucker right between the eyes, because it's like you can't say that he's an elitist, racist, corporate pig. And people, his defenders, the people who love corporate pigs, are gonna, they, and it's, oh, he's not racist, he's not hateful, he's not this or that, he's, and it's, who am I to even tell you, because you probably suffer the hatred from these people worse than I ever will. You know what I mean? But the only thing, it's I don't know. I grew up in such a way that, like, I didn't even realize that my dad was racist. You know what I mean? And so once I discovered that he was racist, I started seeing it in the world. I started educating myself on what it is, and like it's so and just having, like, I literally came up in the hood. You don't get to choose who you're around and whatnot. And so you go out in the world, and you repeating what I'm hearing in the home. Those, they're gonna teach you a lesson that you'll never forget. You know what I mean? Hold on, let me check out your chat real quick. He's just who he is. I already know his character. Right. Yeah, I don't even try to pay mind to Trump or his little sycophants or anything like that. But at the same time, you can't ignore it no more. It's really gotten bad to where, I don't, bro, I don't know how anyone could live outside of the effects of what this administration is doing. As far, dude, Stephen Miller is one of the dorkiest, most racist wannabe Hitler. Probably wears a G-string, dog. I guarantee you, Stephen Miller wears some tight ass underpants, bro. We all know Trump wears fucking gold silk boxer briefs or tidy whities, right? But Stephen Miller, he's got the banana hammock G-string guaranteed, because there's no way somebody's walking around like that without something up their ass all the time. I don't see how Trump is an administrator. He's mismanaged his own, bro. I don't know. And I understand that as a business person, you got to take risks and sometimes you lose, but like casinos, dog, you lost money on casinos? And then there's the, well, he did some genius stuff where he didn't actually lose money. He used the system before him to walk away, profited. Right, but what profits ain't shit to me. I never even watched The Apprentice. And it's crazy. I didn't watch like WWE. I wasn't. I mean, when I grew up poor, so when I watched TV, I was watching PBS and like Arthur and Magic School Bus. So I grew up like for real poor. And later on in life, when The Apprentice was on, I was in the streets. Like, you don't got time for TV. And that's one of the things that I find difficult to relate with people, is that most people make their personalities the media that they consume. And I've lived a life that's been, I've I've seen less than 50 movies in my lifetime, and I want to say less than probably 30 movies, honestly. Um, I don't watch a whole lot of TV shows. Uh, you know, uh, I got memories of my childhood watching TV shows like married with children, that kind of stuff. But the little bit of time that I spent like indoors, domesticated with my kid's mother, watching, we watched like Dexter and Suits and the what we I watched all the stuff she wanted to watch. Oh yeah, no, Trump. See, it's is the result of all the cracks in the system. He got all the smartest, most vile, dismissive, fast-paced people next to him. And they're greedy, dog. They'll fuck over their own mother for a buck. They'll negotiate the price with you. It's like, it's kind of crazy to me that people like that are just allowed to exist in the world. I never knew such vicious cruelty existed. Like, and it's kind of crazy because I grew up abused. I got taken out of my home because my dad hurt me, you know. And I still in my mind I never knew such like systemic cruelty existed. So you go to when you grow up in the streets, you end up in jail. Is what happens no matter what. So when you go to jail, I'm a white guy, you get approached by the white supremacists, and it's like they're the they're the goofiest people I would never want to be like. And I know the image that the media portrays of the quote unquote Aryan Brotherhood is the tattooed, shredded up, bald guy, right? Uh, that's that's like there's like five guys total that are built like that, and at the end of the day, it's mostly just it's creatine and it's not nothing to worry about. You know what I mean? And I don't know. Oh, you're a corrections officer. Yeah, it's the sloppiest. Yeah, dude, it's the sloppiest. They got like loose skin. For some reason, bro, I can tell when somebody is a white supremacist even before you see them tattoo. And what's crazy is the jail that I used to go to, there's white supremacist corrections officers. They got the tattoos and they rep that shit, dog. It's crazy to me. And it's just allowed. It's just the way things are, you know. That thing they do. Yeah, I talk about it. I that's one of the impacts that I hope to have on the world is that I hope to make men more comfortable in talking about what happens to them and why they are the way that they are. I hope that society becomes more receptive to that. Because it's been there's the side where it's like, oh, men can talk about their feelings, but it's like I'm a man and I've talked about my feelings, and no, you can't. You really can't talk about what's happening to you and how it makes you feel without even women looking down on you and men like. And I try to avoid the gendered language and the dichotomy and all that. You know what I mean? But it's we work them to the head. Yeah, yeah. And so, and you, okay, so you being in corrections understand a lot better systemic racism as opposed to systematic racism. But where, you know, they promote from within and they have these weird little tests that they do, and they all go to the same church together and the decisions are already made. There's no, as far as I'm aware, there's not one black warden anywhere, anywhere, and they got the street thugs that go out there and inflate black arrests, and black people are the most exonerated. So I hate to talk like black people, white people, men, women, because but it's also it's necessary, because I'm not one of those white people that likes to be like, oh, we're all the same race. It's like, yeah, it's easy to say that now, motherfucker. But you was it wasn't we're all the human race when fucking when you was filling them boats up. You wasn't pulling them fucking boats up to Denmark and Scandinavia like, all right, guys, you know the deal. Get in, get in the boat. Like, no, you wasn't even trying that shit. Like with people that speak the same way. It's all trickery and nonsense because people will be like, well, what about the black guys that sold them to the guys on the boats, huh? Those, those guys are the worst, isn't it? Fucking no, they, they first of all probably were under duress. They were probably at a gunpoint. It's first of all, and it's like either you go find 5 people to get on the boat, tell them they're going on a vacation, whatever you got to tell them, or you're coming with us. You know, it's you. You were I wasn't there, but I know how the fuck things work. And I can't imagine things worked too much different back then. You know, and so I don't know. I watched all the Star Treks. I made it a point, like even living under a bridge, I was getting Wi-Fi off a courthouse watching Star Trek DS9. You know, I made it a point. So I have that kind of ideology. I want to see a future where people are treated equally, but after the equity's been addressed, the reparations been given, because I how is it that these families still live on estates that was built by slave labor and plantation mind and colonial mindsets? And it's kind of crazy that I'm from New England, so there's like the bougie New England, like Roman Catholic, Irish Catholic types, and then there's the gangsters and shit. And it's these families, they they have towns named after them, like Boyles, and they have wings of hospitals named after them, and it's, oh, my great 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 grandfather, and it's like, well, that good for you. I'm glad that's the way things are for you. It must be nice to never ever have to concern yourself with money. And then me being a literal impoverished white person, they can't comprehend how. They're like, how, and it's because I I don't do I don't see life the way they do, and I don't. It's I don't know. I always feelings matter. It's the feelings that make us different. Like, because you can take every person on this planet and make them see the same thing, and you're gonna have just as many stories as there are people, despite them seeing the same thing. And the way that they interpret experiences is based on their feelings. And it's kind of weird that we drill into kids 5 senses, because there's a lot more senses than 5. Right? And common sense ain't one of them. That's another thing people expect from. They're like, oh, you gotta have common sense. It's like, you realize everyone's definition of common sense is different, right? And that common sense should be that basic respect. But I don't know. I had to sneak and speak with the inmates. Yo, tell me not, though. They're the most interesting people on the planet. And it's, I don't know. It says you're not supposed to talk to them and this and that, but these are the people you see all the time. These are your colleagues. When So I guess only one person stopped by with anything to talk about. Thank you, Coffee, for making it an interesting 10 minutes of this hour stream. Uh, yeah, I don't know. There's a lot that could be talked about, but there's much more qualified people talking about things, getting it done. Yeah, I don't know. If you're watching this later, fucking crazy stuff. I don't know how you did it. Congrats to you. Please consider donating ComicBrandon, Venmo, and PayPal. Thanks for watching or listening this time. I love you. Bye. Please subscribe.